All right, everybody, here we are at the little garden. This year we took a little bit of a different approach. Normally this is our spring and fall garden and we'll rotate stuff out, but this year we decided to put a lot of our summer stuff in this garden. So this is our pepper garden. There are tons of peppers. We have planted so many peppers in this garden, it isn't even funny, as well as a lot of peppers in the big garden. So like I said, peppers, peppers, and more peppers. Gary did put some melons in this third row, the middle row here. In the middle are some melons. I don't know if they are germinating yet. It does not appear that they are. This needs a little bit more water in here. And he did put some broccoli here. Over there in the first row we have some ruby red lettuce left. We have some kale that has gone to seed and we're going to harvest the seed off that kale. Lots and lots of kale seed. My leeks have gone to seed. And some turnips have gone to seed. There is so much planted in this big garden that I'm just going to kind of tell you where stuff is because it's crazy. I'm going to start here on the east side and just kind of talk about it. From to the left of my hand to the corner are 9 hills of cantaloupe. We have several rows of peppers, and down on the end we have eggplants. Another row of peppers with a little bit of tomato there. We got a little crazy and did not put up, we got in a hurry, y'all. We did not put up a string to make our rows straight, so a couple of our rows are pretty crooked. More tomatoes with several rows of tomatoes here. Up here close to the chickens we have planted our potatoes, and as you can see there are a few left that the chickens didn't get. The chickens got out one day and scratched up and ate most of the potatoes. Gary came in and replanted, but our germination rate was not real good. Right, this row right here is the exact middle of the garden. And we have our black turtle beans here at the first. And then we have our cowpeas down towards the middle. And then we have Swiss chard and beets. And at the very end, Gary has, or excuse me, it's beets then Swiss chard. And at the very end, Gary has peanuts. On this row, we have our yellow straight neck squash for 6 hills, and then 6 more hills is our zucchini squash. And then on the very end, there's 12 hills, and those 12 hills, 6 of them are slicing cucumbers, and 6 of them are pickling cucumbers. On this row we have a trellis, and we have several varieties of beans and peas down this trellis. So we're going to see what we end up with. It needs weeded terribly, but it's just going to have to wait. We are playing catch up with everything. Down this grassy row is Grandpa Cargill's okra. This row is our cabbage, and I put a few onions in there. Down this row we have our sweet corn. And down this row, we're coming from an opposite end of a video before, but this row here in the middle of the corn, we have our butternut squash, our Nebraska squash, and our Georgia candy roaster on the end down there. More of our sweet corn. Have our spinach, radishes, and as you can see, most of them have gone to seed, but that's okay. We will eat the seed pods. Then we have lettuce and kale on the very, very end. And up here in this corner here, we have our tenderette bush beans. Looking to the west from the big garden is the pig pens. This is one of our old pig pens. And we have planted 2 rows of sunflowers, a row of carrots, and then up there we have our flint corn that we like to make our cornmeal out of. And then we also have some spaghetti squash planted in a few of the hills up there. In this corner next to Freedom, we have our watermelons. Some of our watermelons. We have a whole lot more that needs to be planted. Here we are north of the big garden, and in another old pig pen, we have planted pumpkins. It looks like we have 9 hills of pumpkins. One hill has not germinated at all. So it's looking pretty good to have 8 hills. They're germinating well, the other 8. I'm not sure what happened with the 9th one, but it is empty. Here we are in our Three Sisters garden. We have our black popcorn and our regular popcorn up here in our Three Sisters garden. We have 4 hills of Cherokee tan pumpkins. We'll come back in here pretty quick and put in our Cherokee Trail of Tear beans. Here we are at our asparagus patch. Spears of asparagus still coming up, but pretty much asparagus is just about done. Here we have my herb garden that looks like an overgrown jungle. I need to get in here and get it cleaned out as well. That's what happens when you get so much rain. Everything just goes crazy. The weeds love the rain and they thrive and they will take over in a heartbeat. So I've got to get in here and get this cleaned out. I need to thin the garlic this year for sure, and make sure that I pull garlic, and I'm going to move it. Need to clear another spot for the garlic patch, and maybe even the walking onions. So we've started prep work on this part of my herb garden to extend it and make it more of another permanent bed. I bought several small rhubarb plants, and then our friend gave us some rhubarb plants. And so I've got to get them in this bed. So the days are heating up, so I had to bring plants that were still in the greenhouse out. As you can see, I've got some rhubarb on the left, and here on the right I have some Anaheim peppers, some thyme. My thyme did not survive, except for my lemon thyme. It's still alive, but my regular thyme did not survive. And then I have some succulents that I would like to put in a rock garden. But I just haven't got there, guys. I think that my plans are bigger than my time allows. Here we are at our last planting area. This is our strawberry patch, and as you can see, there are some strawberries ready for harvest. So I'm going to have to harvest those here in just a little bit. Chamomile sprouting, but it's only on one side. I did seed it all the way around, but for some reason just that one side germinated. I believe these are birdhouse gourds that Gary planted. And they'll just spread all over. Well guys, that concludes our garden tours for the first week in June. Can you believe it, guys? Everything is going crazy, crazy. The weeds are nuts. And we're just going to do the best we can do with what time we have. And that's all you can do is just do your best. And sometimes it gets away from you. And you just do your best. That's all you can do. Thank you guys for watching. And I pray you have a blessed day.